Let's review a very important topic: the Oklahoma Press Association's standards for the layout and design of public notices. OPA's recommendation is 6 columns per page, with a minimum of 1.2 inches per column. Usually, the font type size should be either 7 or 8 point. Any type smaller than 7 point is difficult to read. The state statute dictates that if a newspaper is charging for tabular lines, the font cannot be larger than 8 point. Another way to increase readability is inserting blank lines. If the newspaper includes 1 or more blank lines, the customer should not be charged for them. Public notices need to be easy to find. Newspapers should place all public notices in a designated area with a header. They should not be used to fill news holes throughout the newspaper. Consider placing all notices in a more visible area of the paper, such as with court community news or the beginning of the classified page, instead of buried in the back of the paper. Publication dates are frequently included in the top line of newspaper notices as verification of scheduling and publication. OPA recommends placing this line in parentheses or a different format, such as italics, to indicate that it's not part of the notice text. Now, let's look at a frequent notice run by Oklahoma counties. County commissioners are required to publish their meeting proceedings and expense listings with a newspaper in the same county. In regards to layout, OPA suggests newspapers publish the proceedings and expense listings at 2 columns wide to improve readability and prominence to readers. An important note, however, is that if these changes increase the customer's expense, then ask the customer if they are willing to pay for the added expense. If they are not willing to pay for the increased legibility, then the newspaper should maintain the original formatting. When publishing a notice that includes a map, a newspaper should make the notice 2 columns wide to provide enough space for the image. A border should also be placed around the text and map to make it clear that the map is for that specific notice. Next, let's review a notice of intention to apply for an alcoholic beverage license. State statute has a few specific requirements for this type of notice. 1. It must be a different format to help it stand out. For example, if most other notices are 1 column, then this notice could be 2 columns. Or it can have a box placed around it. Or it could have both. 2. It must be at least 2 column inches in height or width. And 3. The notice must be published once per week for 2 weeks. On a final note, the general public has access to notices from newspapers all over Oklahoma. The Oklahoma Press Association has a digital archive of current legal notices in the state. Oklahoma newspapers voluntarily created this free site at no cost to state government, as it is a means to help citizens find information that affects their lives. To check it out, go to oklahomanotices.com. To include their notices in the legal notice website, newspapers should include the text LPXLP on all pages where public notices appear, and upload the pages to OPA's digital archive. Thanks for watching. Check out OPA's other videos on public notice pricing and affidavits.